up here. Okay, well, welcome to Loving on Your Immune System, the class. I'm so excited you guys are here. I see a lot of familiar faces that I recognize, but for those of you that I don't know, my name's Lauren Sizelove. I have been using essential oils for, oh gosh, at least 4 or 5 years now. I would say really heavily the last like 3 or 4 years. I've been working on, kind of being in charge of my health. I would say when my daughter's 7, so about the time she turned 1, I really kind of started digging into like, how can I use my lifestyle as medicine or lifestyle medicine and be the CEO of my own health. I have been a nurse for over a decade, and I always tell people, I am so grateful for Western medicine. I would never want to be a trauma patient and not have access to Western medicine and all the ways that we do. But I really try and live my life and encourage my family's lifestyle for us to use and really need as little of it as possible. And so at this time when there's so much attention on what's going and circulating on around us, there's been a lot of practical tips shared on how to maybe keep yourself well, like keeping yourself away from sick people and washing your hands and that sort of thing. And I think that's great. But there hasn't been a ton of press or publicity on ways to actually boost your immune system. And so these are a lot of the things I'm going to share today are just daily practices that my family uses and that we use. And so I just want to share with you. So anyways, like I said, if you have questions today, type them in the chat, and I will definitely stick around to, answer questions at the end as well. So I know a lot of you on here today use essential oils, and there might be some of you that are new or a little more novice. Some of you are really seasoned. So I do want to go over a few just kind of essential oil foundations, so we all just have some like kind of baseline knowledge, and then we'll get into kind of the nitty-gritty of today's topic. So some essential oil foundation. So actually something I realized I didn't have a slide for, but let's see what an essential oil is. So essential oils are aromatic compounds. They're steam distilled from plants. And it looks like, hold on, that I maybe lost everyone. Make sure I didn't lose everyone. So they're steam distilled from plants. They're aromatic compounds. And there are like the oil sacs on plants that actually serve as the protective mechanism from plants. I'm just going to stop my share for a second and see. And so there we go. Let's see. Sure, I can see. Okay, there everyone is. Okay. Can you guys still see when I put up my slides? Can you see and hear okay? Someone give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. My last Zoom, it's looked different than it has in the past. So, okay, just want to make sure, okay, that I'm not blabbing to myself. Okay. So they're the aromatic compounds from plants, and they are what protect the plant. So the cool thing about essential oils is that they work really well with our biology. They are carbon-based like us. They are lipophilic, which means that they are able to cross our cell membrane. That's going to be a really key point, or is a key component, particularly for today's topic, as to why they are so effective with our biology. And so they've really gotten a lot of popularity. And with that, there's been a lot of different essential oil companies popping up all over the place, which is wonderful. But it's not a regulated industry like the FDA isn't regulating essential oils. So you really want to be using a brand you can trust, or an oil that you can trust, that you know exactly what is in the bottle. So many of the oils out there, unfortunately, are adulterated or contaminated. So the brand I have been using for years is DoTERRA, and it simply They are the largest essential oil company now, but they source the most pure and the most potent essential oils because their plants are grown in their native environment. They are fiercely committed to transparency of their highest quality oils. So you can actually go to Source to You. It's like a page on their website or a website that they have. All their essential oil bottles actually have a lot number where you can like type it in and the actual testing specifics will show up. And so there's total transparency there. So that's just something to keep in mind. So some of the things that I'm talking about, the ways you can use oils, I am referring specifically to doTERRA oils. And so like we'll talk about internal use, and you would never want to take oils internally with, say, oils you got at the $3 bin at Target or, you know, all the other places you can find them. So this is a time, I feel like, where it really matters. You want to know that the bottle is doing what it says it does and what, you know what's in it. And then there's going just kind of, I think this is my last slide of kind of just some essential oil foundations. The 3 ways to use essential oils. So aromatic, topical, and internal. So aromatic is using a, you can use a diffuser. It's essentially breathing it in. You can put a couple drops of oil and cup over your hands. Topical is applying to the skin. This is a great way to focus on a specific area. So if you're having some head tension, you can apply it directly to the head. Or a stomach or something like that. Internal, this is a great way to get some systemic benefits and really harness like the, I feel like you get, you know, a very potent effect that way. And so again, you would never want to take oils of questionable quality internally. In fact, if you go even to like Whole Foods and look at their brand, even if it says it's organic, 100% organic, it will say do not take internally. A lot of them will actually say even don't apply topically, which makes you think what's in the bottle. So anyways, but these are 3 great ways to harness essential oil. So that's just a little bit of background, you know, kind of essential oil foundations. I just want you to keep in mind, you know, we could talk more and more about this, but this is just kind of some baseline knowledge. Sorry, one second. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so loving on your immune system. So what is our immune system? So
Laura, your slides aren't popping up, so I think you have to share your screen again. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no, thank you. I'm glad. So I like everyone disappears. And thank you, Amy.
Yeah. I feel like Zoom did an update because everything looks different to me too. It's not just you.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty familiar, but
so they're not seeing you?
They're not seeing the slides. So there they are.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I start sharing my slides, they disappear. So I feel like I'm just talking to a screen, and then they're saying they can't see my slides. And sorry, you could probably hear my 2-year-old in the background growling.
Okay. How's that work?
Perfect. Can you guys see the slides now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
But now where's the thing for me to?
The arrows.
Just the arrows.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Front and back.
Perfect. Okay. So loving on your immune system. So like I actually took this definition of your immune system from PubMed, which is the major function of the immune system is to protect the host, so us, from environmental agents such as microbes and chemicals, thereby preserving the integrity of the body. And so the focus of today's class is not going to be to specifically just how to focus on like how to beat one specific organism or thing. It is really how do you support your innate immune system that is very good, and its goal is to protect us and preserve our function. So we want to start with a strong foundation. And we want to make it as easy for our body to be in homeostasis as possible. If you remember back to high school biology, college biology, I took a lot of science in nursing school and pre-nursing school. But the goal of the body, it goes to great lengths to keep us in homeostasis. But we want to, let's make that as easy as possible through our lifestyle so that it's not fighting to keep us in homeostasis just by the basics of like having to process the chemicals coming into our environment. Like, let's give it the good stuff so we're not taxing it on just kind of our basic living, so that's not exhausted when it does come up against a specific threat and it has the raw materials to do what it needs to do because we've been giving it good nutrition and all the good stuff and taking out the bad stuff. I mean, that's a very oversimplistic, but at the heart of it, that's really what that is. And so I think at a time where there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety, this is such a good invitation for all of us to look at, like, where can we up level our health and where can we kind of go to the next level? Like I said, I've been pretty committed to living a really clean lifestyle for a long time. And I'm looking at, like, okay, where can I take the upgrade? Where can I up my game? And maybe you're at the beginning and, you know, there's a place for all of us. So you don't feel like you have to do everything. But I did want to present, like, basically kind of the different areas you can tackle: nutrition and nutrient dense food, reducing our toxic load. So it's really good right now to be cleaning all the things and washing our hands, but it might be really good to be mindful of not doing that while exposing a bunch of chemicals into our environment. Because look back to the definition of what your immune system is trying to do. It's also trying to manage the chemicals. You don't want it busy managing the chemicals and everything else coming in. Like I said, we want to make it as easy for our body to do its job of protecting us. And I do feel that is my bias. I do feel that our bodies, given, you know, the right nutrition, the right environment, and the good stuff, are really good at healing and taking care of what they need to do. So I feel like that's our job, is to care for our body and work with our body, and it will serve us well. So, and then stress management, huge impact on the immune system, not always something people think about, but huge impact. And then sleep. I haven't put it all together yet, but I will soon. My hope is to get it out by tomorrow. But I will slip in the recording of this webinar and then some of the notes, and I will put in a couple of the links of stuff that you see here. So if you want to take some screenshots of some stuff, you certainly can, but my goal is to get the information out to people in a written form so you don't have to worry about remembering everything. But I listened to this really good TED Talk by like a sleep physician. I believe he was a physician. He was certainly a scientist, just talking about how much sleep impacts our immune system. Anyway, so that's going to be something that we're going to talk about too, ways to support your sleep. Okay. Okay. So proper nutrition and hydration. Okay. I feel like, you know, sleep, stress, immune system, all this stuff. I mean, we could spend an hour on each of these topics, and I promise you I won't. I just want to give you an overview and some practical tips, so you don't leave feeling overwhelmed, but you feel like, okay, I have some like practical action items that I can implement to move the needle. And so just keep that in mind, that I'm not trying to go super deep into any of this. I just want you to be able to walk away with a few takeaways. But I will also give you some links to some resources if there's some things that you want to dig a little deeper on, because if there's a particular topic that spikes your interest. Okay, so this is the time to maintain a clean diet. I will tell you, as a healthcare professional, I mean, I think it's wonderful that companies like Krispy Kremes are offering free donuts to healthcare. It's like a wonderful thing of generosity, but like this is the time to be dialing up our nutrition and like limiting things like sugar, alcohol, processed foods, and increasing things like greens. I personally am aiming for 5 cups of greens a day. That seems like a lot, but if you get a big salad in at dinner, and then you get, like Jamie mentioned earlier, a smoothie, you can fit a lot of greens, a lot of produce in those 2 things, and then you're filling your body up on the good stuff. And then lots of healthy fats. Fats are very satiating. They got a bad rap in the 90s, but we know that they're good quality fats, not trans fats, adulterated fats, but healthy fats. Olive oil, nuts, avocados. I'm personally a fan of grass-fed butter, but just whatever a good fat is to you, that's a good thing. It's also going to help reduce your sugar cravings, and sugar is not your friend right now. It's inflammatory. It actually weakens your immune system for 24 hours after consuming it. And so again, that's why you want to just focus on like filling up on the good stuff. Unfortunately, again, like I said, this could be a whole talk, but just given the state of our soil and our climate and our farming, our food is not as nutrient dense as it once was. And even if you are eating a pristine diet, you cannot quite get all the nutrients you need from food. And so it's really good to supplement smartly. So I have a picture of doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack here. I have been taking this for a few years now. I took it through my pregnancy with my son as my prenatal. For me and many others, it has been a game changer. I know some of you on take this. If you feel free to like type in the chat what you experience or what you like about it. I feel like other people will benefit from just being able to see that. But this is whole food nutrition. So it's like a multivitamin, which comes from a whole food forms. It is not synthetic, which is huge because even, again, the vitamins you get at Whole Foods, don't get me wrong, I love Whole Foods, but a lot of them are synthetic on the market today. An omega essential oil complex, and then the alpha CRS, it's their cellular vitality blend. It's full of things that are good for our cells. And that really is kind of, if you were to boil down, what we're talking about today, we're really looking to support healthy cells. That's what good nutrition does. That's what getting chemicals out of your environment does. That's what some of the oils that we have do. They boost, our cells, like mitochondrial function and stuff like that. Something else that I'm taking, again, I will have the link in the email, I will be sending out, is a vitamin D3 K2 blend. So I take this vitamin complex every day that you see here. I don't have a picture of it. But vitamin D is huge. The Lifelong Vitality does have, I believe it's 1,600 IUs of vitamin D3, which is great. If you are like myself and you are living in Oregon in a seasonal climate, that is probably not going to be enough. I personally am taking an additional 5,000 to 10,000 IU. The Vitamin D Council is a great resource. Lots of great research showing how adequate vitamin D3 is really good for respiratory viruses and preventing illness. The K2 is critical. You don't want to just grab anything from, CVS. The K2 is a cofactor that's critical for this, like the absorption of it. And I have one that I like. It also has zinc and other cofactors, and zinc is important for it, as well as just immune health in general. So just something to think of. Kiddos, they make a liquid form, and you can put a drop for them and they can get the liquid that way. So that's another way to do. Okay. So that's some about just kind of some baseline nutrition and supplements. Water. So water intake, super critical. Half to 1 ounce per pound of body weight per day daily. Minimum should be half an ounce per pound. So if you weigh, just because math is not my thing, if you weigh 100 pounds, which I don't, if you weigh 100 pounds, you're talking like 50 ounces of water today. I personally drink 4 liters of water every day, and that's pretty close to the 1 ounce per pound of body weight for me. If you're new to taking water, of course, if you have cardiac issues or stuff that you have other specific directions from your physician, of course, defer to that. But drinking lots of waters, hydrating ourselves, flushing things out of our system is a great thing to be doing right now. Really all the time, but especially now. Something I like to do is add a couple of citrus oils to my water. If you're in the chat and you do this already, type in some of your favorites. But some of mine are grapefruit, lemon, tangerine, green mandarin. Those are my go-tos. So just remember with citrus oils, they are wonderful because they boost your body's glutathione content, which is your master antioxidant, which is fabulous for detox, immunity, again, healthy cells, what's coming into our environment. But you don't want to put it in plastic, even if it's PVA-free plastic. You want to do glass or stainless steel. So just keep that in mind. Okay, then we already talked about stuff you want to take out. Let's see. There we go. Okay, stress and sleep. Okay, so according to the Cleveland Clinic, words are hard, stress decreases the body's lymphocytes, which are your white blood cells that help fight off infection. And stress is just very prevalent in our, society as a whole. But of course, there's, extra stressors going on in the world right now that no matter what you're doing, what you do for a living or what you do, I know everyone is impacted in some way. And so, of course, we're not going to eliminate our stress, but we want to help manage our stress. And I didn't go into, but sleep is really the same thing. Your low quality sleep or lack of sleep has a dramatic impact on your immune system. And so high quality sleep, or on the flip, and appropriate amount is really good and critical for your immune function. So they're kind of tied together. Obviously, they're not the same thing, but stress can impact your sleep and vice versa. So and a lot of times they're two sides of the same coin. So anyways, aromatherapy can be great for anxious and overwhelming feelings. I'm a huge fan of all the citrus oils. They're very uplifting. And then there's great blends for sleep. doTERRA does a lot of blends. Lavender is a very common one and is a great one. Serenity has lavender in it, but it has some of the other grounding oils. So does Balance, Peace, and Adaptive is one of their newer blends. Fantastic for stress. I actually just gave my kids a bubble bath. And I kid you not, I feel like I put the Adaptive in their bath more for me so I could smell it, because they were kind of, everyone's off their schedule. It's like our 25th Saturday in a row. But anyways, we all just chilled out a little bit. And they enjoyed their bubble bath and I enjoyed breathing it in. So anyways, Adaptive is a great one. And then other ones that are great for stress, but they also double down on a lot of other systems, is copaiba and frankincense. Fantastic, both of those for cellular health, but they're also known as mood support and stress oils. Copaiba is, it's kind of like a more natural version of CBD. It's kind of the essential oil version of CBD. Its key constituent is beta-caryophyllene. I mean, you could do a whole presentation on copaiba, but its key constituent is beta-caryophyllene. You can Google that substance in PubMed and you will see a lot of great research, but really great for immune support, cell support, stress, pain, inflammation. We want to be doing our best to keep our bodies in a low inflammatory state. Inflammation in the right context is super important for our health, but some of those chronic stressors of just chronic low-grade inflammation, that's really taxing to the body. So frankincense, also called the king of essential oils, really great for mood, inflammation, and immune support as well. Some people are really drawn to like wood oils. These are like grounding, Siberian fir, vetiver. I don't have a picture. I might later in one of the slides, but so at bedtime, personally, this is what I do. So I take doTERRA makes something called the Serenity Soft Gels. It took me a while to try these. I don't typically struggle with like having a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep on my own. I suffer from insomnia I have small children, and so I didn't think that I needed the assistance, but I know a lot of other people do. So it took me a while to try them because I just thought, oh, I didn't need it. But oh my gosh, I feel like my sleep is so deep and so good. I can get the same block of sleep, but it does so much more. I wake up feeling so much more rested. My sister is an ICU nurse. She's worked nights for a while because she's worked different states. And so, anytime you move, you're the new kid on the block, and then you are, back on night shift for a while. So for her, copaiba, you can do this. They make a pre-made soft gel, or you can just do the oil and put it directly under your tongue. So copaiba and Serenity Soft Gels, you can take them together. That's also the one that my mom takes because sleep is a challenge for her, and huge difference. So I share all that is to say that, there's things that are really popular that work really well, but it's always kind of like fine-tuning what works for your body. And then doTERRA's actually come out also part of the adaptive system. They have an adaptive complex. That's good. Has GABA in it, and it's also like it's that calmed alertness. So there's a few things you can kind of play around with at different times of the day, and kind of tailor it to what you're feeling like you need. So you keep doing that. Okay, reducing toxic load. So can you guys see this? This is On Guard. You're going to hear me talk a lot about On Guard. It's called the Protective Blend. It is a blend of different immune boosting oils, as well as like ones that have antimicrobial properties like clove and wild orange and cinnamon. It smells really good. It smells like fall. And so you can actually take it internally as an immune booster. You can put it in a roller. You can put it in your diffuser to clean the air. But doTERRA actually has a whole line of like On Guard products that are personal care and cleaning. So kind of back to, I'm a huge fan of washing your hands and cleaning all the things. But you want to, like I've said before, if you can, find a way to do it without slathering yourself in chemicals and adding them to our environment. So the things that I use are the toothpaste, the mouthwash, the cleaning concentrate. I make my own hand wash. I have been for a while. It's like pennies to make, and it works great. And then hand sanitizer. And then if you are not a DIYer, there's also, so here's, again, this will go out. I'll put it in the email if you want to take a screenshot of it now because you want the recipes like right now you can, but my goal is to get out tomorrow. So you can make like a hand mist. So those of you that have been using oils, for a while and you save on to your empty oil bottles. If you don't save them, I should have it here where I can show you in my screen. But I have this big vase of, all my empties, and then I will find a way to recycle them. So your hand mist, you can take an empty like oil bottle. You can take your empty oil, this one's not empty. You take an empty oil bottle and then you can fill it. So per the CDC, they're saying 60% volume of alcohol, if you can find it. I happen to have a stash that I have had just for a while before, kind of there was this threat that was going on. But if you can find some, or other people, I think it's Everclear, there's a vodka that's like a higher ethanol complex, you can use that too. But anyways, so for the bottles are 15 ml vials. So you do a tablespoon and a half of rubbing alcohol. Sorry, it's supposed to be half a tablespoon. Yeah, fractionated coconut oil. That's what FCO is. You could also do aloe vera gel, but just something in there that's like moisturizing for your hands, because we're all washing our hands and they're getting dried out. And then 10 drops of On Guard. And then if you were doing a larger container, like a 30 ml, you'd obviously just double the recipe. The cleaning spray, this On Guard concentrate that's up here in the corner, that image shows you how many cleaning spray bottles that makes. So you only use 2 tablespoons for like a spray bottle. It's highly concentrated. I use it for everything. I get stains out of my kids' clothes. I make the cleaning bottles with it. Works like fantastic, and it is so concentrated. You don't have to add anything to it to get the cleaning potential. I like to kind of add a few things to it. So I like to add a little additional On Guard and peppermint. It's kind of a surprising combination, but it's like minty and uplifting, and then has the spice in it. I don't know if anyways, and then the foaming hand soap. You can buy it pre-made from doTERRA. They have the hand foaming pumps. You can just buy it. But then there's also, this is the recipe, the foaming hand soap. That is the recipe that I use at my house and have been using for a long time. I went on Amazon and just got glass foaming hand dispensers. I use a little Castile soap. I add some olive oil, again, just for moisturizing, some On Guard, and maybe something else just to embellish the smell and the properties, and then you're good to go. And it's literally like pennies to make. And then looking back to that last slide where it showed you what the On Guard killed compared to the Clorox and the Lysol, it's really important to me that I'm not sacrificing the efficacy, but it's also important to me that I'm not bringing, unnecessary chemicals into my home. Okay, so that's kind of some of the lifestyle stuff. As far as like some specific immune support oils, I have a list there. Arbor Vitae, I feel like, is one that doesn't get a lot of press. It is one of my favorite ones. It kind of smells like sharpened pencils. If you've ever had it, it's very woodsy, but it's really great for boosting your immune system. It's gentle on the skin. So if anyone has like little babies, I tend to go for this one as opposed to On Guard. I use On Guard on my kids all the time, but if like little babies, like 2 months old, it's just more gentle, so that we might tend to like gravitate more towards that one. But I will add it in with my On Guard and copaiba and frankincense and all the ones you see there in a roller. And roll it on the spine and the feet. That's a great place for like general absorption. doTERRA also makes these On Guard Plus soft gels. I'm gonna tell you, they have been selling out and then they get them restocked. doTERRA corporate has told us they are not gonna have a shortage of On Guard in the next couple months. They are well stocked, but there are a couple of these products that they are working to meet the 1,000-fold increased demand just in the short term. So I think last I looked, just to get the On Guard soft gels, they are not available, but it's very temporary and they'll hop back on. I think they're going to do a limit just so that people cannot you know, so that we can get everyone, most people, a supply. But you can also make your own. But what I love about these On Guard soft gels, they have oregano, On Guard, Melissa, black pepper. They're in a pre-made soft gel. I am just taking these as part of my routine, as part of my job, working in the healthcare. I just consider myself exposed to a lot of things right now. I'm just operating under that mindset, and also with the mindset that, again, I'm gonna take care of all my systems to the best of my ability. So that's what I've been doing. I've also been taking DDR Prime. This is, again, the healthy cell blend. It has things in it like lemongrass, summer savory. I'm blanking on some of the other ones. The whole, again, I've taught a whole like 20-minute thing on just DDR Prime, but the whole target behind the blend is healthy cells, healthy apoptosis, which is programmed cell death, and healthy cell repair. Because again, we want our cells, that's actually a healthy process. You want the bad, tired, worn out cells. You want them to have their proper programmed cell death, and then your body to create new healthy cells. That's part of, again, a good healthy functioning immune system. Lemongrass is another one. I put the immune bomb. So, and then there's in that slide next to it, how to put them to work. Some people are doing a drop of frankincense, copaiba, or Melissa, AM and PM under the tongue. I tell people rotate what you have. Melissa is a really spendy oil, which is another reason the On Guard Plus soft gels are so great, because they're really economical and it's a way to get some Melissa in your system. If you don't have that one, don't stress about it. You can make your own immune balm with lemon, frank or frankincense, tea tree, On Guard, oregano, and copaiba. You can do a couple drops in a veggie cap 2 times a day. That specific one, that's like 10 to 12 drops of oils in one veggie cap, and you're gonna do it twice a day. That is my heavy hitter that I go to if I feel like I am actually starting to get sick. But you wanna start it like the minute you feel something. I actually, last September, went to an essential oil conference for nurses. You got continuing education units. Fantastic research, but what they shared matched my personal experience. When I feel like I'm starting to get sick, I put my immune oils to work, and I notice a huge difference in the trajectory of my illness. But if I wait too long, like you get to bed and you think like, oh, my throat's a little sore, but you're like already got comfy and you don't want to get up and move. And I tell myself, I'll just take it in the morning. Like, you really want to hit it when your symptoms start. They showed in their research, just in the life cycle of a virus and the ways in which viruses get killed, the oils in general, I'm not talking about a specific, virus, but just in general, what they've learned about the antiviral properties of oils. They work best at that beginning of the life cycle when it's starting to try to infect your cells. That's where they do their best work. So generally speaking, that is the time you want to hit all the things that you do. Take your vitamin D, take your vitamins, take your immune support oils. And then the other key thing is that they shared, and this also matched my experience, is you want to take them about 3 days through the resolution of symptoms. Because you know that just because you're feeling better does not mean that you don't have still some residual bacteria or virus or whatever it is that your body is fighting in your body. And so that is the time to keep supporting your body through that. And I'm also guilty of that, because you start feeling better, and so it's easier to kind of like, out of sight, out of mind. So just wanted to share that with you. I think someone just sent, said they're waiting for approval to get back in. I'm sorry. Let's see. I think Zoom definitely made some updates. And so let's see. Oh, here we go. Normally people don't have to wait for my approval. You've just been approved because I sent you the link. Anyways, and it's not letting me. So I'm sorry. I will send everyone the recording also. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Sorry, that's not as pretty, but that's Okay, so diffuser blends. So this is a great time to be putting good things in the air. So Arbor Vitae and Bergamot, Wild Orange and On Guard and Peppermint. There's a bunch of different diffuser combinations. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but these are some of my favorites that support your immune system and your sleep and your stress. So those could be some good options. You can also add a couple drops to a steamy shower, and you breathe them in that way. Put a couple drops in your palm. I actually like to put a couple drops in my hair. I did that before I started, and your hair will kind of act as a diffuser. And like I said, I'm trying to diffuse like 3 times a day: morning, afternoon, and before bed. Topical, you might want to consider making this just part of your routine. There's actually a kids blend. It's pre-diluted, it's pre-made. It's called Stronger, and you can just roll it up and down the spine and the feet. It's great for kids. It has rose in it. I actually forgot to put rose on the slide. That is one of the best oils for immune system. It's another one of those spendy ones. They make it in a pre-diluted roller that's a little more affordable. But even that Kids Stronger roller, that would be a great way to get some rose and some other good immune boosting oils. And the evening, you could do, again, another one of Arbor Vitae, On Guard, Frank. You can see them all there, more immune boosting. And then babies, you know, we tend to reach for they're powerful, but they're gentle. They're gentle to the skin and gentle on the system, like Arbor Vitae, frankincense, and copaiba. And then potentially you could also add some mood supporting oils just as part of your routine, like balance to the bottoms of your feet, or lavender, adaptive, that sort of thing. If you're someone who's brand new to oils, this probably is not going to be the thing. I wouldn't recommend starting this right away. If you are someone who uses oils and you've been using for a while and you don't have this, you definitely should look into it. It's called Symphony of the Cells. I will again put the link in the email that I send out with some of the content that was shared here today. But this is a very specific, there's a spinal application. It's applying essential oils down the spine, the bottoms of the feet, but there are different protocols based on different body systems, different diseases, that sort of thing. They have an immune boosting one, they have a respiratory protocol, they have a bunch, I think there's maybe like 15 plus different protocols. And it's a very simple, you can even Google how to do it, that you basically are applying in a certain order. It tells you which ones down the spine. The reason the spine is because you feel there's all these nerves that are, you know, coming out of the spine. So you're really, and then those are innervating different, you know, your organs and all that sort of stuff. So you're really like getting a very thorough application throughout your whole body by hitting on the spine. So anyways, this is a great one. I pull this out when my kids are sick, or if I'm under the weather. It's a great thing to have on hand, but you kind of want to have it on hand in advance, because you can't go pick it up at the store. You got to order online and that sort of thing. So that's a great thing to like familiarize yourself with. Okay, putting it all together. Again, this will come out. So again, you can do some of this, you can do none of this, you can pick and choose, but I just want to share, this is what I am doing during this time. This is what my family's doing during this time. And so, here's kind of a good sample, like daily routine. You wake up, put some like citrus oils and some peppermint. This is a great time to like tee up your water bottle for the day. Like success is planned, right? So like have a 1 liter water bottle, like fill it up, drink it. You can add, again, a couple drops of citrus oils if that's your thing, and then roll your immune roller on your spine, feet, and chest, and you're ready to go for the day. And then, you know, I'm doing the same with my kids. You know, they have their roller, and that sort of thing. I personally practice intermittent fasting, so I do my supplements at lunch and in the evening. But if you are a breakfast eater, and that's a good time for you to get some nutrition and supplements in. This is when I take half my lifelong vitality. I take Mito2 Max, which I didn't spend a lot of time talking on, but it's their energy complex blend. It has no caffeine. Again, it's just really good stuff for your cells and for your mitochondria. And so it's a great thing for, especially if you're maybe in a job right now where you're not home and you are working more or more increased demands. That would be a great thing to do. DDR Prime, again, that's that healthy cell blend, and then the On Guard Plus soft gel, or some sort of, you know, getting some On Guard in your system. I also added on the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, or they have a turmeric. Again, really good phytonutrients for your cells. These are just suggestions. Like I said, you don't have to do all of them. This is what I'm incorporating. And then in the afternoon, you want to, you know, put something in your diffuser and reload your water bottle. Personally, my goal is to always have 2 liters of water in by noon, because I'm trying to get to 4 by the end of the day. You know, sometimes I'm a little behind and I'm playing catch up, but it's always kind of like my goal. I try and get like a liter in real early on, get another liter in before lunch, and then, you know, I have the rest of the day to get like 2 more liters in and kind of, you know, keep up on my water intake. There is, I didn't put it on this slide, but there is, you know, some of what we've learned out of what's coming out of China and some of these other places where we've seen these threats circulating, is this virus likes to hang out in your throat for a little bit before moving on into your lungs. And so the idea of continuing to like drink fluids throughout the day, maybe do some sort of like gargle in the morning, can be a really great thing. So like some sort of mouthwash or salt water gargle. doTERRA has a fantastic mouthwash that's very, very popular. Again, has some On Guard immune boosting oils and really great for oral health. Just something to think about. And then some sort of afternoon supplement. I call it the supplement stack. Again, I'm doing mine with dinner and lunch. You might do yours with breakfast and dinner, or however you want to play with it. But I do the other half of my LLV, a DDR Prime and On Guard soft gel, and that's when I get my vitamin D with the cofactors. And then in the evening, a few times a week, do the detox bath. I think I maybe skipped a couple slides. I apologize. So this is my detox bath. So this is what I do with my kids. This is what I do with myself. But Epsom salt and baking soda. The Epsom salt is not actually a salt. It is a magnesium and sulfur component. It breaks down. It's really great for your body to absorb magnesium through your skin. It's a little harder to get through your GI tract, to be honest. It oftentimes will cause like loose stools, so it's harder to absorb. It's great for absorbing through the skin. And then that sulfur component is very good for helping to kind of like detox the body. And then the baking soda makes it more alkaline, which is also good for your body. And then I put whatever oils it is that I want in the baking soda Epsom salt mixture, and then that soaks in that, and then it disperses in the water. If you put the oils in last on top of the water, they tend to just kind of float on the top, and you don't get the integration as much. So a couple times a week would be a great thing to do for yourself. If you're acutely ill, if my kids are ever acutely ill, I'm giving them a detox bath 2 times a day. It is a drastic difference in how they feel. Like I have put my kids in with like really high fevers, 103. I let them soak for like 20 minutes. And my immune support oils, my favorites, if they are really sick, is the Argo Vitae, Copaiba Frank, and Aroma Touch. That's another great oil. It's the massage blend, really great for bringing the body back to homeostasis. If you do get the Symphony of the Cells book, a lot of the protocols incorporate Aroma Touch. I think it's in like almost every one. I put that in the bath, and I kid you not, I take them out. Usually their fever is gone when I bring it. It will come back, and I let their fever ride to, you know, help. It's a response the body has to control the growth of whatever it is fighting off. So I let it, but it really helps them feel so much better. And then it's very relaxing. So if sleep and stress is something that you're struggling with right now, like treat yourself to a detox bath a couple nights a week, and then tee up your diffuser with some sleep oils, and you know, maybe that's what you integrate right now. That would be a wonderful step if that's not something you're already doing. And then let's see, we talked about that. I think I skipped over this one. I already kind of hit on this, so I won't, but at the first sign of fighting something, that is when I kind of step up my protocol from like my baseline. Okay, this is what I do to just baseline tee up my systems and build in, you know, good health, to like, okay, my immune system is switching over to like actively fighting something. And then this is what I jump into. So I do the internal use of that full immune bomb. If my kids are, there's something called On Guard beadlets. It's just 1/3 of a drop of oil. Like I will put a little bit on like a spoonful of raw honey. And just a reminder, you never give honey to kids less than 1 year of age, but they're so small. They're like half the size of a Tic Tac is like the reference I would use. I know I just dated myself there, but anyways, So that's a way you can get it in kiddos. It can get internal use. And then there's the immune bomb. And then just the daily generally recognizes safe upper limit of internal use of essential oils that doTERRA has put out is 24 drops per day. So just keep that in mind. There are plenty of people who take more than that and do fine, but that is kind of like, I'm always mindful. So if you're getting like 20 drops from your 2 immune bombs and putting them in your water, that sort of stuff, just be mindful because it can start to add up, especially if you're doing those heavy hitting immune bombs, which I absolutely recommend you should, you know, if you feel something coming on. Okay, so that's the daily routine. Let me see, does anyone have any questions in the chat? I also feel like my chat is, I might stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing my screen actually here in just a second. So I'm going to show you one more slide and then I'm going to stop my screen share. So I think most of you use oils, which is great. What I would recommend doing if you already have like a good collection going, this would be a great time to like take inventory of what you have and like put to use what you already have. You know, maybe water intake is something you've identified as something you want to increase. Like I always feel like there's something, you pick something that you want to do, but there's usually something that has to happen before you do that thing. So if you want to drink more water, maybe you don't have enough water bottles to like keep with you throughout the day, or you need something to happen before you do the thing. Maybe identify what that is. And maybe you already have a lot of these tools at your disposal. Great, but like kind of take inventory, figure out what you have and how to put it to work. If you don't, and you're new to oils or you're new to like some of these concepts, I do just want to let you know that doTERRA is offering a 20% off on their 4 most popular starter kits. And so if that's something that interests you and you want to get these tools in your home, connect back with the person who invited you here. So this healthy home kit, I really keep zooming back in on because it has like the top 10 oils, the immune boosting oils that we talked about today. It has the hand soap. It has the On Guard cleaning concentrate. It does have shampoo and conditioner. Again, it's just back to reducing toxic load because they're all clean products. And that one's normally $350 and it's $280. Through the end of the month. And then there's the Healthy Essentials Kit. Again, has a lot of the oils that we talked about, including On Guard, including Adaptive, Lemon, Copaiba, Balance, and a diffuser. Again, another, it's regularly $249, it's $199. And then there's the Healthy Habits Kit. And then there's the larger Natural Solutions Kit. That includes all those things, plus like the vitamins and the probiotics and stuff like that. So anyways, just something to keep in mind in case that's someone that applies to. So I'm gonna stop my screen share. Let me go to the chat and see. Oh, someone said they use lemon digestion, grapefruit in your water, and I use On Guard and turmeric. That is great. Oh, there's something else actually I wanted to show you. So if anyone has any questions, I know that was like a lot of different content in a short period of time, but if you do have any questions or comments, type it in the chat. And because I know a lot of you are users, sorry, I have to share my screen in a second. There's another in our Facebook group, our user group. I actually found there's several great ebooks, but there was one in particular that was super relevant, and I'm actually going to spend a few minutes like perusing the recipes and making. I had it pulled up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The ebooks. So if you go to the Obsessed with Essentials group, our private Facebook community, and you type in ebooks, there's like 23 of them on this post. Hold on, once I get it teed up, I will. Maybe I should go back to sharing my screen. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Okay, can you guys see that? This is the, so I typed in ebooks, and then so if you go here, There is one, well, there's a couple really good ones. There's one on green cleaning. If you're like, okay, that's something I could implement. There's tons more recipes. I just wanted to share the couple. There's more on like the vitamins, the lifelong vitality pack. But this one here, actually at the very bottom, called Winter Wellness, has a ton of good recipes in it that are super applicable to what we're talking about today. So you can scroll this immune boosting, there's a sore throat tea. And so, sorry, I don't know why that's,
we can't see it, Lauren. I think you have to X out of we can see your PowerPoint. So maybe X out of the PowerPoint.
Can you see it now? Let's see.
No.
I'm gonna have to do this new Zoom upgrade has been killing me. Okay. Can you see it now or no?
No.
Let's see, screen share. Well, I'll put, you know, we can tag some people in it, but this Winter Wellness, there is there's an immune boosting tea and, let's see, a bunch of different respiratory rollers, more roller blend recipes. There's an elderberry syrup recipe on there with a link to there. And it's really easy, well organized to go through and different protocols. So it just kind of like complements a lot of the stuff that we talked about today. It's all for free in the group. You can just click on it like that. Okay, I'm gonna just stop the share. Okay. Someone says, is On Guard safe for all services? Yes, I have people that, you know, have like, well, Granite, but what's the other one that's really popular? Quartz, you know, and you can use it on that. So if you're using that, you know, the cleaning concentrate, I've used it on a variety of different surfaces. It's done fine. It does great. Like I haven't had any issues with it. Of course, you know, if you're trying out something new and it was something like, I don't know, like marble or something maybe that's a little more porous, you know, I think that recommendation of like always just trying a little spot in like an inconspicuous space is always a good idea. But I've like had to put it on my carpets and like different stuff like that. Ooh, someone said they've been putting On Guard in your smoothies. Would you, you know, I have one friend that said that she puts it in her kids' applesauce and it makes it kind of like a spiced applesauce, but I've never tried it in my smoothie. I bet you that's really good, especially if it's got something like apple or or like pumpkin or something in it. Let me see, I'm just looking back in the chat and seeing if there's anything else. Okay, well, does anyone else have any other questions? Comments, concerns? I'm happy to stay on and answer. I know that was a lot of information. Let's see. Oh my gosh, and I kept it to an hour. That is amazing. That is not my my usual MO. So I think that's all I have. Thank you, Stephanie, for the for the applause, emoji applause. Okay, well, and if you do have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm gonna try and get this content out with some links, like a link for like the spray tops if you wanna convert your essential oil bottles into like some hand sanitizer. You can order like on Amazon, there's spray tops that go with there. I'll put the vitamin D link and some stuff like that. So, and then of course, if you have further questions, you can always also reach out to the person who let you know about this class. So anyways, thank you everyone for coming, spending a part of your Saturday morning. We'll look forward to having a happy, healthy rest of our winter. Right.